Welcome all UGC NET aspirants. First lecture is on classical sociological traditions. We are going to start with Emile Durkheim. He was born on 15 April 1858 in Epinal, France. In a family of rabbis, his interest was more academic than theological. He rejected traditional academic career in philosophy, although he was interested in scientific sociology, but there was no field of sociology at that time, so he taught philosophy in Paris. He was exposed to the scientific psychology being pioneered with Wilhelm Wundt on his trip to Germany, then published his work in Germany and gained a position in the Department of Philosophy at the University of Bordeaux in 1887. He offered the first course in social science in a French university. His main responsibility was teaching courses in education to school teachers, and the most important course was in the area of moral education. His goal was to communicate a moral system to the educators. In 1893, he published his French doctoral thesis, The Division of Labor in Society, and Latin thesis on Montesquieu. Important books: The Rules of Sociological Method in 1895, and then Empirical Study on Society Education. He was named Professor of the Science of Education and then Professor of the Science of Education and Sociology. He published the elementary forms of religious in life, now considered conservative, but in his time he was considered a liberal because of his role in the defense of Alfred Dreyfus, the Jewish army captain. He was deeply offended by Dreyfus' incident because of anti-Semitism being against Jewish people, but did not relate this anti-Semitism to racism among the French people. He saw it as a symptom of the moral sickness. He said, when society suffers, it finds someone to blame for its misfortunes, and especially those against whom public opinion discriminates are naturally fit for the role. These are the priors. It confirmed him in the way in which the result of diffuse trial was greeted in 1894. There was a lot of joy, and people celebrated it as a victory in a place of public mourning. They knew whom to blame for their economic troubles and moral distress. Trouble came from Jews. Change has been officially proved. Due to this fact alone, things already seemed to improve and people felt consoled. Thus, his interest in the Dreyfus affair was from his deep interest in morality and the moral crisis faced by the modern society. He urged people to have the courage to proclaim aloud what they think and to unite together in order to achieve victory in the struggle against public madness. Durkheim's interest in socialism is also taken as evidence against the idea that he was a conservative, but his kind of socialism was very different from the kind that interested Marx and his followers. Durkheim labeled Marxism as a set of disputable and out of date hypotheses. He was not interested in short term political methods or the economic aspects of socialism and was greatly opposed to agitation or violence. Socialism for Durkheim was very different. According to him, it was a system in which the moral principles discovered by scientific sociology were to be applied. He had a profound influence on the development of society, but his influence was not restricted to it. Much to his impact on other fields came through the journal Sociological, which he founded in 1898. He and his ideas influenced such fields such as anthropology, history, linguistics, and psychology. He died on November 15, 1917, a celebrated figure in French intellectual circles. 20 years later, his work had a significant influence on American sociology after the publication of Talcott Parsons' The Structure of a Sociological Action.